guys, today is Wednesday, August 22nd, 2012. I am always testing something, so I've got this Sony camera out this time. I had a Canon I've been trying to work with the last few weeks. I've been up a couple times with a friend of mine from the club. His name is Jamie. I'll show you some of the footage right here. We were trying to fly, and of course you can see how bad the shake is. We were flying to Okeechobee to get some breakfast, which is obviously a popular spot for me. It's an easy trip, and they have really cheap breakfast. It's like $4 and something for this huge Cracker Barrel style breakfast, you know. Well, yeah, needless to say, my whole goal was to have to get away from tape-based cameras. So, you know, that was what I was trying to do with the Canon. I've been using a Sony HDR HC1 for, well, since I had put out the first podcast. And never had any bad shake or anything like that. You know, I didn't really even realize how good it was until I started using other cameras. And if you saw that episode a while back, an instrument lesson, it was pretty much unwatchable. So I guess I forgot about the whole Canon thing, and then when I bought this past one, I just forgot about it. Then I put it up in the cockpit, and it was just horrible, so unwatchable. So I guess they're really susceptible. Right now, what I'm recording on is a Sony. It's a newer Sony that I just got in today, and was gonna mess with it for a little bit and see how it was. So I'm just kind of rambling on here, as you can see. So this one's got balanced steady shot, which I'm convinced the steady shot is where it's at, I guess. And you know, normally on a tripod you'd probably turn the image stabilization off, but on the Sony that I've used, the tape-based DV one, I never even turned it off. I don't think it was on purpose. I just forgot one time, and it didn't make a difference, so I left it on. But this one has a balanced one, and it's almost like a Steadicam kind of. The lens sits in kind of a floating mechanism that just floats back and forth. So when you move, you can actually see the lens. Like right now, I can see the lens is just moving back and forth, which is kind of creepy. But anyway, I've left that on, and you can still see some bumps, and I'm hoping that doesn't translate into the bad vibration. It's, you know, in the airplane, the frame, it kind of transfers, the engine transfers through this frame, and it just has this really high frequency vibration. I say high frequency, I really don't know. It's just a bad shake. It sounded good. Anyway, right now I was supposed to take my BFR before May 31st of this year. I actually kind of slipped away because I've been working this job so much and haven't put out anything, and I'm not even going to apologize anymore because that's how I do it, I guess, you know. But I still enjoy flying. I still enjoy putting these videos out, and I kind of want to get back to the casual kind of not feeling like so much pressure to put one out. Believe it or not, I do feel pressure daily to put out a podcast, even though it goes months before I put one out. So a lot's happened in the last few months. You know, Casey went out. He's switched to a different airline, and he's moved down to South Florida. So he's down there often, doesn't get back here too much to fly with me. So that kind of left things a little bit kind of up in the air. He's probably a little source of my motivation, but his good friend Ian, who has always kind of been there as well, Ian has he's kind of eager to help out as well and kind of give some really useful tips. He's also a CFI, worked for the airline, the same airline that Casey did for a while, and he's back in town kind of pursuing some other things away from the airline. So we have this flight we took a few months back, and I had asked Ian, I said, hey, can maybe can we go up and kind of demonstrate some different kinds of stalls and things that could happen. So we took the camera up, and with the 152. We did some stuff that we want to make sure that the club, because we use the club's plan, want to make sure everybody is signed off on it that needs to, make sure that, because it wasn't our standard kind of primary student practice, but I think it was really, really helpful because it made me realize just how stable that 152 is, because we couldn't really get it into a situation like we wanted to. We were actually trying to get out some accelerated stalls, and the stall horn was fairly aggressive, but it just wouldn't do it. So it's at that moment that I realized, not that I was overconfident, but I realized just how safe the plane is, and it kind of took a little bit of worries off of me. And anybody else in the 152, after you get your primary training done, go up, take your CFI out, and have them demonstrate some more aggressive maneuvers and putting the plane at some different attitudes, outside of your standard unusual attitude practice that you get in your primary instruction. But yeah, it will really make you feel a lot better, and make you feel like you have a little bit of control over the airplane, and then it's not just going to aggressively stall and plummet to the earth. So not saying I think about it every time, but I'm aware, and I think I'd be stupid if I wasn't aware, and I'm very much not complacent. So, well, that's all I really had. Was just a few words here. It was kind of a dual purpose to get out there and talk to you again. And hopefully I can get this other little episode out. Ian's on my back about getting it out, so I'm sure that he'll be excited when I actually get the video to him to pass it on for approval. So you can check me out at facebook.com/SPJ podcast, Twitter, SPJ Greg, the website, www.studentpilotjournal.com. And you can always email me, greg@studentpilotjournal.com. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon.